Hey y'all, this is Brandy from Southern Crafts DIY, and I want to say hey to all my returning viewers and welcome any new viewers. If you follow me on social media, which the links are down below, you'll have seen a list of everything needed for today's project. And I really appreciate y'all being understanding. We've had a lot going on this week, family drama and stuff like that we had to take care of. And so Friday went by and didn't even realize it. So sorry about that. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and jump in and I'll show you everything needed for this project. Alright, the first thing you're going to need is 4 of these. I did 2 solid and 2 with holes. If they have other designs that have the holes and you like those better, it's fine, but I got these from Dollar Tree. They were actually on sale, so I only think I paid 50 cents a piece, so not bad. But you're going to need 4 of those for this project. You're going to need 8 of these tower blocks. You're going to need some hot glue or whatever glue you want to use. You're going to need some paint. I'm going to use my Snow White by Waverly. I think it'll be a really good foil for what I'm doing. And then of course you're going to need a paintbrush. So let's jump on in and get started. My bad, y'all. Y'all are also going to need some miter shears or something to cut 2 of the tower blocks with. Okay, now let's jump in and get started. Alright, so I'm going to show you what we're going to be doing so you understand what we're going to be needing the tower blocks for. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these and we're going to glue them we're going to eventually glue them like this. And we're going to need the tower blocks to put in there. I'm going to move this out of the way so I can get to it, but I was just showing you. So you're going to move the tower blocks out of the way. I mean, you're going to need to glue the tower blocks in here, but you're going to need about 2.5, and it's going to take 3 rows. Let me show you to do it. So that is why we need the miter shears and what we're going to be doing. So I already measured out and I've actually already cut one of my blocks, and it's about halfway, so that's why I said you only need 2. So, and if you're doing different things, it might not be the same size, so that's also why I didn't measure it for you. But after you get it measured and figured out how big you need it, you're gonna mark the blocks and then you're gonna cut it. That's simple. Alright, so that is all you need to do for that step. So I gotta let my glue gun, I can't talk. I'm gonna let my glue gun heat up, and then we're gonna glue these together just in rows of 2.5, and then we'll glue them together totally, and then we'll move on to the next step. Alright, I'm gonna try to get it as straight as I can. I'm not the best at this, but you know, I'm also not the worst, so alright. So I'm just gonna glue the pieces together and hope they're straight, because apparently these boards are not, sorry about that, apparently these boards are not, these tower blocks aren't perfect. Nothing's ever really perfect anymore, but I'm just gonna glue them together like so. I'm not too worried if there's a little space in between. It's fine. I don't want that, but I'm not gonna go all crazy because it has it. Just gonna try to get it as straight as possible. Alright, like that. And then the next step is, I want to change this up a little. I'm going to glue them together. So And this should fit in there. Alright, it should. Let's see. There you go. Not perfect, but it's close enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. Alright, so now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paint my stuff. And I decided white, like I said, because I just think it'll work really well for what I'm doing. I like to have, I like to have, I don't know, I like to make sure something looks nice and isn't too crazy. But again, this is my choice. If y'all like different, of course, you're more than welcome to do that. So I'm going to paint around this, but I got to be careful because I really don't want to get paint on the bottom of it. So I'm probably going to use, y'all probably didn't see that. I don't want to get paint on the bottom of this stuff, so I'm going to have to be careful. So I'll probably use a smaller brush for this. But I'm going to let this dry and I'll paint the whole thing and I will show y'all when I'm done. Alright, like I said, I'm going to take a smaller paintbrush and paint this just because I don't, at least around enough for the edge where I can spread out, because I don't want to get any paint on the house. I don't know how good I am, but I'm going to try. Don't want to get it on the metal. But you know, if it happens, you know, it happens. It's not a huge deal. So I'm just showing you what I'm doing. This is a really small brush and it'll get underneath the metal good. And I'll have better control of it. So that's what I'm doing. See? I don't see any paint on it, but you know, it could be wrong. Ooh. The brush went flying out of my hand, y'all. About smacked me in the face. And I know this seems like a lot of work, but you know, I try to do a good job. I'm not always perfect. And another reason why I'm painting it is because they're two different colors and it just makes it more cohesive than having the lighter wood for the tower blocks and then this darker color for these things. So that's another reason why I paint it. Just to make everything go together good. Let me get the back. Trying to be very careful here. Just because I want it to look nice. So I would love to see some of y'all's crafts that y'all do. I've said this before, but feel free to, you know, post some crafts for me so I can see what y'all did. I'm sorry, I don't know how you do it, but I know you can do it because I've seen people post pictures in other people's posts. So, unfortunately, I can't walk you through it if you don't know how to. But well, y'all get the idea. So I am going to finish it, and I will show y'all them when they are completed. Alright y'all, so they're all painted. They look pretty good. So now we're going to start on the next part of the project, which is gluing them together. See how it works. I don't really know what I'm doing, so we're just going from there. Like I just glued it to the table. Alright, so now, and I made sure I put the little metal pieces on the inside. So there it is, and then we're gonna attach this in here, but I'm gonna let it dry first, make sure it's good and dry. Oop. I might have to trim it a little. Well, I'll figure it out. I had it backwards. I don't know what the difference is, but apparently there is a difference, so I'm gonna try to do this as fast as I can because this is hot glue. I'm just putting hot glue around all four sides. Oops. And then I'm gonna drop it in there. Ah! No, I got my finger stuck. Oops, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to shake the camera. I will clean up the glue later. It's not a big deal once it dries, but I wanted to get it in there. So there it is. And I will show y'all what it looks like when it's done. Alright y'all, so technically the project is finished, but I had a thought that I thought would be really cool. And I could use some of this. I got this last year from Dollar Tree, and I could put it over the back where the hole is, just to give it a little extra something when it lights up. So let me see what I can do. I don't want to make it too big because I want you to be able to see the whole thing. So yes, like that. So give me a second, I'll show you when I get it done. Alright, so I cut out my little pieces of feather, and I don't know how to do this. I'm just trying. I'm gonna put some glue around the hole. I know I might not really be able to see this, but I'm trying. And I just want to glue it down. Of course, the glue dried faster than I thought it would. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. That burned. Yeah. Give me a second. Not my best job, but I think it looks pretty good. So we're gonna do the other side. It's a little up, but it's fine. And as soon as I find my feather, alright, and I'm just gonna go through and I'll put a little glue and then set it down, because the last time I did it I messed it up. cut that. Now, this is an extra, otherwise I would have done this before I ever glued it all together. But it popped in my head as a last minute addition. So it's not that huge of a deal, but I would recommend, if you decide to do something like this, to do it before you glue them together, because it just makes it easier. But there's that, and I think it'll look really cute when the light hits it. It'll cast a shadow off of it. So give me a second. So that's it for today's project. I think it came out really cute. I absolutely have it came out. I'll try to clean up my hot glue later, and I'll try to do a better job of it next time I do it, now that I know what I'm doing. But all I have is a big candle. I don't have a little one, but you're going to want one shorter than this so that it lines up with the holes, so that the light bounces good, and maybe wider or something, or just smaller, period. But this is it for this project. I enjoyed making it. If you like it, please, please, please like, share, subscribe, and comment down below, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.